Alright, good evening everyone. My name is Herson. Today I will show you guys how to make a super simple and easy Python program. It's just basically a simple game into which your computer generates a number from 1 to whatever you want it to be, and you have to guess that number. If the number that you input is less than the number that they chose, it'll tell you it's less than or greater than, and it'll just make you go over and over until you find the correct number. You will need a couple of different things before we go ahead and start actually making the code. So one of the things will be you'll need to get PyCharm. This right here is the actual software to make the code for Python. You just download it. It says free trial, but if you're a student you get it for free. And you will also need Python itself. Any computer will be able to run Python 3.9. It's pretty universal in terms of what kind of computer you have going on. They won't come with Python, so you need to download it here. If you're using any other different, like if you're using a MacBook, you can do it from Mac OS as well. But that would be it. You would just need those two pieces of software. And let's get right into the coding. So to start off, since we need to have the machine actually pull out a random number, we would have to import from the actual library that PyCharm actually has. We have to import random. So what that actually does is it imports the random function that's inside the library onto the computer. So once you run it, the computer will know what it is, so it'll start doing the actual processing work. After that, press enter, go to a new line. You'd press n equals, so n would be our variable. It's basically going to be I'm defining n as the number that's going to be the random number that's going to be generated every time we boot up the program. So we would do n equals and then random, which is the program that we just imported above, dot rand int. And that's basically, the rand int is basically saying, hey, we're not just going to pull some random variable like a random letter number combination. We're going to specifically pull out a random integer. And it'd be fine if you left it like this, but the range would be so wide because you don't have any numbers in there at the moment that computers would probably crash, because it'd be trying to get a number from negative infinity to positive infinity. So to make this a little bit fairer, we're going to put in an actual range. So the range I'm going to go with, you can customize it however you want. It doesn't matter really. But I'm going to go with simple minimum 1, maximum 99. So it's going to pull out numbers from 1 to 99. So it could be 88, 72, 45, just a number within that range. So now that we have the random integer part, that's it for just generating a random number. Now we actually have to write in how us as in the person making the code or the person running the program, would be able to actually put in a number, a recognizable number for the computer in the program. So for that, we're going to do a variable, which is naming basically what we're going to do. I'm going to name this guess, for example. And guess is going to be equal to, so this is where a new variable, an operator, comes in. So we would put integer because it's going to be a number. Otherwise, it would be a little bit weird and the program wouldn't run well or at all. So we do integer and then input. So what the input variable is going to allow us to do is that it's going to allow us to actually put a number into the box where the program actually gets ran inside of. So for input, we're going to put inside of there some text. Text is always going to be notated by quotation marks. So we're going to do quotation marks, and then we're going to type in any sentence. So I'm going to put in enter an integer from 1 to 99. So now at the moment what we have is, I'm not sure if it'll let me run it. Let's see. Yes. So down here at the bottom, it prints out the text that I wrote up here in quotation marks. So it's going to ask me to enter a number. And after that, let's say I do 56. After the code is done, it'll give me more specific results. At the moment, it just says process finished with exit code 0, just because I don't have anything that'll happen afterwards. It's just collecting data at the moment. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start a while loop. So for beginners or for people just starting out in Python coding, while loops, you get into it a little bit after the basics. But the easiest way I'll be able to explain this is what I'm about to type in is going to loop until you guess. It's going to loop, let's say, a certain sentence or a certain line of text. So let's say, let me just build it right now. So while n, which was the random number, while that does not equal, does not equal will be notated as an exclamation point and an equal sign. Exclamation points, if you just leave them by themselves with no writing whatsoever, no writing in between quotations, it'll mean does not. So right now it's saying while the random number does not equal your guess, which is going to be the number that you input. And let's see. Print. So I'm going to leave this blank only because that will allow anything under it to actually print out. So now what we're going to do, if guess is less than the number that we put in, or not the number that we put in, the random number. So if the guess that we put in is less than the integer that the computer pulls out, we're going to type in print, and we're going to say something like, haha, your number is less than what I have, essentially. So let's say the number is, let me see if I can just run it here. So it'll be just a quick dry run. So enter a number from 1 to 99, put in 1. It says your number is less than what I have. Right now it's looping because I haven't built the breakpoint, so when it'll actually stop. So if you stopped here, what would happen is the program would continue running indefinitely. It wouldn't stop. So, and I just also realized I spelled from incorrectly. Just fix that real quick. Alright. So, we've now gone to the part where if the guess is less than the random number. So now, if you want to do, we would do the same for greater than. So we would put, instead of if, since we already have if beforehand, we would do else if. It would be noted by elif. So that's going to be else if the guess is greater than the random number. And the same thing, you'll print out, hey dummy, that number is too high. And keep in mind, whatever is in green here, you'd be able to change to your liking. So you can put whatever you want in it. So we would put guess is too high, and then we would put down as if we would actually do it for both. I just forgot to do it now that I'm running my mind. We would put in guess equals integer input. We would do the same thing as what we had up at the top. It's just that I forgot to do so. My bad. 1 second. And we're just copy and paste this because you're doing the same exact thing after both the prints, just so it'll also it'll reprint out guess again, or else nothing's gonna happen. It's just gonna tell you it's too low, into which you can leave it like that. But I like to have the actual, like, I like to have the problem come up again if you get it wrong. So let's say, let me run this one more time. Enter an integer from 1 to 99. Let's say 1. It'll say, haha, your number is less than what I have. And then it will tell you again, if you look at the bottom here, enter an integer from 1 to 99. So it'll just give you the repeat. So you could stop here. But how would you know if you got the number correct once you actually got it? Sure, this program by itself will tell you if you got it less than or greater than. But if you do get it, there's no like award. It won't tell you, hey, you got it. It'll just stop the program. So for that, we're finally, once you finish a while loop, you'd finish it off with else, or else you'd continue with else if you wanted to put different rules or variations depending on how you want. But that's something more advanced that I'd probably have to get into another time. But now I would just write to finish off the program else, print off, hey, you did it, congrats. And then what I would put on at the end is a break operator. So what this will do is this will stop the program once you actually get it correct, so it won't keep continuing. It won't continue anymore. So now let's run it. This would be all the code all together that you would need. So if we run it now, enter an integer from 1 to 99. Let me just put in 56. Your number is less. How about 78? It's also less. 67. 89. So now the number is too high. How about 80? It's less. 85. Nope. 84. 83. 82. It's going to be 83. So the number there was 83. You looked at all the tries I gave in. Pretty bad at it. But at the end it says, hey, you did it. Congrats. And it ended the program there. So that's how you would make a simple program in Python that would just tell you, it'd be a small little guessing game essentially, but that would be it. Hopefully you guys got something out of it, and if you guys have any questions or actually want to learn a little bit more about Python, you can come to me personally. But anyways, you guys have a great day.